Yo, what's up? It's the Jet, Kevin Knight, and you are now tuning in to the Shakers Den.
And you are tuned into the Shakers Den. What is going on, you guys? Welcome to the Shakers Den, where it's invite only, brought to you by Battleground Podcast. Of course, this is our Black History Month spotlight. And I mean, we cannot have a Black History Month spotlight without bringing in the Jet, flying, coming in. You heard
Come on.
Kevin Knight is in the building, stepping into the Shakers Den. Kevin, how are you doing on today?
I'm doing wonderful, feeling blessed. Everything cool. Everything cool. How's everything with you?
I'm great. I'm still somewhere in the universe. I'm still remembering where you had called me out. And I've been seeing you doing your thing, getting a little more advanced and everything. So, I've been checking you out so I can, get prepared to put my forearm in action and
For
everything.
sure, for
So,
sure.
but let's go ahead and kind of get started. Just a more of a get to know more about Kevin Knight himself. So, describe your music taste with three artists.
That's kind of tough. That's kind of tough to describe because that's a big range. If you would have asked me this a few years ago, maybe it would have been easier because I like a lot of different things now. But shoot, just with three artists, it's a broad range. So I'm gonna go with that's a tough one. We gonna go with hip hop. We gonna say 50 Cent. We gonna
Mm-hmm.
we gonna say 50. Um, I kind of like the alternative stuff too nowadays. So I go like Tame Impala, and then R&B type. So like Badu, Jill Scott. If I got them two, but
Okay.
a wide range of things. I don't listen to just one type.
I understand. I don't
Yeah.
either. My range goes other places. Sometimes I'm in my car singing Demi Lovato, and maybe I want to, turn on Bad Bunny because
You got
and all
to.
that. I mean, everybody is able to, learn about a lot of people's different music tastes by the wide range. I feel like you stay into one category, then
You
you
close
really don't have
minded.
you don't really have much of a taste at all. Like,
Yeah.
branch out a bit. All right. So, who are your favorite sports teams if you are into sports like basketball, football, hockey, soccer? You know.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into sports like I used to be when I was younger, but for
Mhm.
now, I've always been a big Houston Texans fan because when I first started watching football, I was like '02, '03, and they were like the newest team in the league. So I was like, I'm gonna be their first fan. Like that was my 5-year-old brain. Like I'm gonna just be their first fan because they ain't got no fans. So I
Mhm.
always been a big a Houston Texan guy. So, and I heard they looking up this year. They had a good season. So,
It is.
you know. For sure. I like hockey, to be honest, because I like just watching them
Mhm.
skate and I like watching them fight. I ain't got no team in hockey, but I just like watching them
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I
for
can't
sure.
skate, so like I watch hockey because they fight on there and they're very aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing I like about hockey is the aggression. It's like over this little puck and y'all just going crazy, trying
Hey,
to
it's
beat
similar
each
to
other.
wrestling in a lot of ways.
Well, very much so. Like you gotta. Mm-mm. I don't know.
She said, mm-mm.
I feel like I think I take it a little too serious and start really swinging out there because you can relax.
Nah, it
Hey,
get
so
dangerous on that
yeah,
ice. It get dangerous on that ice.
it does. And then the ice is hard too. So nah,
Not forgiving
I,
at
I
all.
would rather pass on that. What TV shows has you in a chokehold right now? If you are watching, what is some TV
I'm
show?
I'm big in Better Call Saul right now. The new season just dropped, and I was always a Breaking Bad guy, and I just love Slippin' Jimmy. Better Call Saul. He's just able to talk his way out of every situation. So it's
Mhm.
cool seeing how he be coming up with his scams and all that. I'm big into Suits right now, just because I'm
Mhm.
learning so much, like in the legal system, like all the
Yeah.
terminology, like everything that's going on in that show. Those are the two I've been on, and Mr. Robot. I used to be in IT back in the day, so they use a lot of technical terms, and I'm like, yo, how are they putting this on the show? Would people really like understand what they saying? So it's
Right.
cool seeing like those terms and everything just being brought to a TV show. So those three shows got me. They got
Okay.
me.
And see, mine is like, I'm not on the serial killer side of things. So like anything documentary side, or if I'm looking at you, because I feel like somewhere deep in my past life, I feel like Joe Goldberg was like my spirit animal and
For
everything.
sure.
I don't see anything wrong that he does. But people like you're crazy. I'm like I am.
Joe
So
know what he talking about.
He
What
does.
are you
Like
talking about?
you're playing with that man's emotions, and how you want to not to react? Like that man loves you. He wants to love you, and you're taking him for granted. Like
He may go about certain things in the,
yeah.
not in the right, you take things too far, but I understand. Like, I always understand. So
Stop playing with these people' emotions, okay?
can't be
Before you
doing
find your Jogo bird, okay?
that.
So, what are some of your favorite hobbies? I browse around. I don't like to
What you
say
be up to?
snooping, but I browse around. And I've noticed or I've heard that you picked up the guitar and everything. So,
Mm,
has that become one of your favorite hobbies as of right now? And if
yeah,
outside of that, what else are some of your favorite hobbies?
for sure. I definitely picked up the guitar a few months ago. I took some lessons and everything. My teacher getting me right. So soon enough, I'll be comfortable to play in front of people. I'm not good. I'm not good enough yet, but I'm learning the basics, everything. So I'll be on the guitar every once in a while, and I'll be roller skating. Whenever I'm back in the states, I don't really be going out like that, but going roller skating, that's my way of being social and like just having my life outside of wrestling and stuff. So those are my two main things: skating, wrestling, obviously roller skating. I
Mm.
said that twice on the guitar, but yeah,
Let's see, like I said, I'm not a skater. I tried it once, failed, and I was like, nope.
you
Same thing with riding a bike. Failed. Going
nah.
trying to ride a bike, failed once. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be riding a bike when I get older. I'm about to have me a car. So I'm like, you know what? Y'all got it. Now I get on the dirt. Now I would get on like the four wheelers. I get on
Okay,
those. I love those to death. I go mud riding, all of this stuff. But as far as like bike riding, fell off once, never got back on. I was done. I was done. Like that was it.
but that's gonna happen though. Like when I first, even when still, I be roller skating. I fall all the time. That's just part of the process. So I get it though. I get it. It's not hard. It's just new.
Them kids be doing spin moves around me. I feel embarrassed. I'm like, no, you're not gonna do that to me. No, 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 no. I'm getting off this ring right now. So I watch other
Exactly.
people and I think it's really cool. And I guess because I love ATL so much that they were
Facts.
doing the whole roller skating and like roll balancing, seeing all that. I'm like, that is very difficult
It's
to do. It looks
it's
like, but
just
it's
like
so
that in real life too, with the skate crews and the beefs and
cool.
all that. Like they take that stuff serious,
I
like
believe
real
it.
serious. It's crazy.
Mm-mm. I'm like, y'all got it. It's cool to watch, but I'm not putting myself in that predicament.
Nah, I
Um,
feel you. I feel you.
what is something about you that this is the last question. What is something about you that people would be surprised to know?
Mm, I feel like I like to read. I feel like that would be surprising just because I'm a wrestler and wrestlers get the stigma of like not being the brightest or like being different, awkward people, whatever. I like to read a lot. And I'm big into learning. Um and reading definitely like helps me, not even just like with self help books or just like history type things or even fiction. I'm big into Toni Morrison. She's a great storyteller. So like yeah, any type of book really out there. Like I went through a whole phase a couple years ago, especially during the pandemic. Like there was nothing to do, so we'd just be in the house reading. But yeah, I have my own little library and everything. So
Okay, cool. I would never like suggest like think that you would be someone who'd be interested in reading, but nothing is wrong with that because we all read books. I read books. Um,
what you
maybe
reading?
not. Uh, I don't know if it's I would say that they're more so like those books that you may see in those reels on Instagram where they're like, your fantasy boyfriend type thing. Where
Okay,
it's like,
okay,
they be
understood,
it's quite
understood.
interesting to learn the type of things like that stuff. And I also read those kind of books that are more so they're very dark, like and
Yeah,
everything. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like
That's
to
real
I like
life, to
to
be honest.
psychologically in a way where it's like the thought of the mind and like get inside of people's mind and things like that. So I always think
I see
those
where you're
books are
coming
really
from.
cool. So I don't know. I think
We
it's
had a
more
we had exchange we had exchange book lists and stuff. Things you
absolutely
read.
because let me say, listen, my range of books is all over the place. Sometimes I want something that's like more uh fictional, and then some that's more like adventurous or just books that's like based off of like movies and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
So
you
those
you
are
can't just like music. You can't listen to one thing. You got to read different things too.
exactly. All right. So that was pretty much a little bit of getting to know Mr. Knight here. Let's pretty much dive more into actually the interview and everything. So,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
did you realize you were obsessed with the art of wrestling?
Oh, when I was like 3, 4 years old, to be honest. And back then, wrestling was like TVMA, TV 14 or whatever. So I never really got to watch it live. I had to sneak and watch it whenever I did catch it. But I really learned about wrestling through the SmackDown video games. To be honest, my older brother had all the SmackDowns, one, two, three. So um, just seeing all the characters being tied to their theme music, the music was big for me. Like you had Gangrel, Rikishi, Jeff Hardy. Everybody had like their signature looking characters and everything. So, and then the moves are really secondary. I really just loved the how different it was. Because I'm not big into superheroes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't big into Marvel and DC, but wrestling was like my way of seeing superheroes, I guess, in like human form. So it was always cool to see characters like Kane and Undertaker, Mankind. Jeff Hardy was my guy because he wore something different every time. You know,
Right.
everybody was so different, and just seeing the energy from the crowd, especially just from the crowd, just seeing how everybody was so hyped. I was like, yo, I'm at home hyped too. 'Cause I never got to go to any events until I was like 21, 22. So just seeing it on TV just always piqued my interest.
Oh wow. See, I didn't have
So,
well, I would say I had to sneak and watch it because like when I was younger, my family would always have like a watch party of like Raw.
mm,
And then when they introduced SmackDown, and sometimes for the pay-per-views, they would have like watch parties. But of course, because it'd be on a school night, my mom
yeah,
always had me on a bedtime for like 9 o'clock, and that's when things really about to pop off. And I'm like,
facts.
I start throwing temper tantrums and everything, and then she's like, all right, okay, I'll let you watch it till it goes off. And it was like, okay, because I may want to talk about it with my friends at school, but I didn't have that. Like, I didn't have a lot of people at my school that was interesting like me or whatever. So
Same.
I didn't really have anybody to like chat with. And I was like, because the first thing they said, oh, it's fake. Girl, I don't care. Do you not hear I didn't say I am? Like,
No, for real. I always hated when
I'm
people
not
said
with
that. I
that
was like,
stuff.
everything on TV is fake or scripted in some type of way. So there's no
Literally.
that point is not valid, to be honest.
You can't
At
use
least
it anymore.
wrestling admits it, like everybody else hasn't admitted it yet. So wrestling really
Literally.
ahead of the curve in my book.
Not at all. It's real to me, and it's still real to me to the point where I realized that Undertaker and Kane were brothers and
When
everything.
I
And then
found that out,
I started to question everything in my life. Like, all right, like they started like the Christian were brothers, and then I was like, okay, so Matt and Jeff are safe, right? Like they
yeah,
really
yeah,
are.
yeah.
I was like, okay, because y'all was playing mind games on me as a child, and that's the beauty of it. I got to go to see some of the live shows as a kid, so I got to see like Triple H when he was in his prime, and like Randy Orton and
That's
uh,
dope.
John Cena was really big here. Like people was, I mean, you couldn't like I'm 5'3", I'm short. I didn't grow anymore. People were already standing over me, so it's like I could barely see anything at the live show. So, but it was a great time, I will say. And I remember my first one was when John Cena did come here, and I was in front of these other girls. He like touched my hand. I was like, bro, I'm never washing my hand. I did, but in my mind, I was like, I'm not washing my hand no more. Like that's it, because I was such a huge fan of him. But yeah, like I never had to sneak or anything like that, and I think that that's beautiful with wrestling itself because you guys are so athletic. Like a background, like I was like, oh no, I came from like cheerleading, and like basketball, and I
Yeah,
used to be out there with the guys playing throwback tackle. Yeah, I was
yeah, yeah.
I was definitely the tomboy, but the boys we ended up getting hurt, and then we had to go to two-hand touch. And I was like, flag football. I was like, all right, y'all, we supposed to be the ones that's getting hurt, and y'all over here crying. It's like,
You was doing them like that. That's crazy.
I wasn't doing
That's
them like
crazy.
that. I would be trying to run away because a lot of the guys there were bigger than me. So I was like, y'all not finna attack me. We're not doing that because
Hey, once you step on
I
that
play with.
field, it ain't
Hmm.
you got to be prepared for
I
it. You got to be ready
I
for it.
was I was prepared for it in high school when we was playing football inside the gym. And
Word, word.
when I tell you they took the wind out of me, I was like, you know what? All right, cause y'all think I'm tough. I was like, nah, I'm tough around here. Like I
Yeah,
was playing with the boys as a
you
kid.
gotta
Like
you
you
gotta throw
can't
that shoulder into him.
like I was. They was gonna get an elbow for real. It was like
Had
my
to.
basketball coach taught me how to be a more tough because I was very timid as a kid. So I was like, all right, whatever. But you have your athletic background. I think you maybe did like track and field and even like football and stuff like that. So
Yes,
with
sir.
that
Yeah.
transitioning over into wrestling, like talk about like practicing for football and like track versus actually practicing and like training for like wrestling. Like, was there much of a difference for you, or was it kind of sort of the same?
When I was first starting out on the indies, it was kind of the same. Just because it was something I really wanted to do, and I've always been like, all right, so if I learned this, I got to keep doing it and keep doing it until I get it right. So that wasn't really an issue for me when I first started on the indies. I really didn't get challenged like that until I got to the dojo with
Mm,
Shibata. He was like my football coach basically. Like he really pushed me like mentally, physically, and everything. Because after every squat, you got to yell at the top of your lungs. You got to be disciplined and stuff like that. You know what I mean? This is all before you get in the ring. And then you get in the ring, and he don't want he's not really being strict on it, but no slouching, not showing weakness and everything and stuff like that. So that was the tough part, just the mentally, of
mm,
just having to perform, go through, fake it till you make it, basically. So it was similar in that aspect of football because every day we did the same thing, warm ups, drills and stuff. But wrestling training is different because there's no way to like simulate that in any other type of environment, like hitting the ropes, taking a bump, getting up, and getting hit and getting put back down, having to pick somebody up, put them back down. So like you actually, it's a very specific way of training, and
mhm,
yeah, it definitely works different parts of your body, and it was tough. It was just different from what I was used to. With football, I used to running sprints for a
mhm.
long time, lifting heavy weights and stuff. When it came to wrestling, after wrestling training, I did not want to lift weights at all. But I still had to find a way to like keep my strength. So I found
Right.
different ways. Wrestling really helped me learn my body and how to control my body. Um, so I just found different exercises, mobility, stability exercises, just to keep my figure without hurting myself. So
Mhm.
wrestling definitely helped me in that type of way.
So when you was at the dojo for like the first day and you got to experience it, did you have in the back of your mind like, I don't know if I'm gonna come back tomorrow? Yes, I don't know if I'm prepared for this,
No,
but like, what kind of made you feel like you needed to stay or like to continue on to complete it?
for me it was a challenge, like I said, and I
Mhm.
and I, I love challenges. And when I first got to the dojo and we did like a week tryout or whatever, Shabata's trying to push you and see where he can make you quit. And I've seen him do this with people that came in after me and everything. So I was like, he's not going to make me quit in anything, but it's tough. I ain't gonna show it, but it's tough. So after them workouts, after that week, I was in my bed. It's like that paid in full scene. Like my body different. I'm breathing different. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
it was it was cool to see where I started earlier in that week and then where I finished later in that week was like, okay, I got better. So the fact that I got better, he noticed it, and everybody else noticed it, and it gave me that confidence to keep going. Because I don't like quitters, and I don't quit things myself. So it was just like, all right, I'm already here. That's one thing Clark Connors he always said. He was like, "You're already here. You might as well, get through it." So I was like,
Right.
"Shit, he right. Let me just go ahead and get through it." So it
I
was it
mean, I
was
mean, and
just
look at you now.
yeah, and it's been a journey. It's been a 4 or 5 year journey, and it's I look back a few times, and it's cool to see where I came from, where I'm at. I'm just still on the journey. So
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that journey, I mean, like I said, I have seen you do some of your stuff down at the Hard Dungeon with Natty and like TJ and a lot of other different wrestlers down there as well. So, talk about
mhm.
that experience being in the the Hard Dungeon, especially with someone like Natty. I mean, their family is, we already know that's a wrestling
Yeah,
family through and through, and Natty is so amazing still to this day. Like she's trained a lot of people, and I mean, she's definitely that girl and everything. So talk about your experience being there and how did that even come about to even being actually training in the Heart Dungeon.
the so how it came about is when I was doing the TNA tapings last year, and one of the refs he trains at the dungeon. He was like, "Yeah, come through anytime if you're around." But at the time, I still lived in Los Angeles, so it's like it was no way for me to really get there and everything. But I recently just moved back home to Atlanta, And I was like, I hit him up and I was like, yeah, I could drive down for a session or two, whatever. I come down and yeah, just working with those people, like it's just inspiring, to be honest, because I'm right up there working with them, and just hearing the way they think about pro wrestling is very insightful because they give me so much insight just on the American way how to do things, and so much detail just into like how to move your body, little things that translate to on camera and everything. So it's just cool hearing TJ and Natty's perspective on wrestling and just seeing their passion for it. Like you go in there, everybody's in there trying to get better. So it's like everybody's just trying to, iron sharpen iron. So it's dope being able to go in there and work with them, and then just just grateful for the experience. And I need the conditioning and everything, keep my body right. So I love it. I love going down to the dungeon.
Awesome. I think that is great because I was like, as I was watching some of the videos because Natty, she's always posting them. And I
Hmm.
see you being there with like Moose and like Angelo Dawkins and like BFAB and
Yes, sir.
Ashanti the Adonis, with you guys were actually, doing running some drills and stuff like that together. I was like, man, y'all look like
Yes, sir.
brothers. Like, like
Nah,
over here.
come
Like,
on, come on.
that's like yeah, really did. I was like, they look like brothers. But moving forward,
Yes,
of
sir.
course, before the time we spoke, you were, you was doing your stuff with Kushida, and y'all was going on that, that opportunity to win those IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships, and y'all
Hmm.
actually did win it. So first of all, congratulations on that and everything. So
Thank
winning
you.
those championships with Kushida, talk about that experience there, and that actually being like, your kind of like your first touch of gold in a
It
sense.
was. It was my first touch of gold my whole career. I only did a year on the Indies, and I didn't win anything when I was there. And then I went straight to being a young lion. And as a young lion, it's rare if you win a match. Definitely rare if you win a championship. So, and that was like 4 or 5 months after I graduated. So it was it was a great experience. It all happened so fast. And just having Kushida by my side after every match, he always gave me pointers and tips, just what to work on. He's big on fundamentals, just how Kushida, I mean, just how Shibata-san is. So I always make sure that my fundamentals are good and everything, because everything else is going to be fine. It's wrestling. It's only a few ways to do things. So it's like once your fundamentals are good, everything else will be fine. So it was just Kushida's like a calming presence. He's very very relaxed all the time. He's real cool, always cracking jokes and stuff. So he's and it calms me down because I be overthinking and everything a lot. I just be like putting a lot of pressure on myself. But Kushida's always there to like just breathe, relax, relax. He's always saying that in the back of my mind. So I always keep that playing in the back of my head. And Kushida's just been a great person to learn from. Just watching him, seeing how he puts things together, seeing how his mind works with wrestling. It's been so much just I've been taking in. So it's been dope to just learn from him. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, Kushida, he's one of my favorites. I've watched a lot of his matches. I was so happy to see him even like pop up in like TNA now and everything before it went
Mm,
back to Impact and everything. I was like, oh my god, Kushida's here because I absolutely love his work. I think he's absolutely amazing inside of the ring, and I mean he has a very nice look and appearance to him and everything like
yes.
that too. And since we're on the topic of appearance, I mean, let's talk about your appearance. You got some new gear, ring gear, you know what I'm saying? That
For
I've been
sure, for
like,
sure.
okay, are we
You
like in a
know,
new era of the Jet? Because you got your theme song and everything, and
right,
now
right, right.
you having new gear, and I'm like, are we moving into a new era?
I'm in the era we in is just experimenting. We just throwing stuff at the wall. We just trying out different things, just seeing what I like, what sticks. But we definitely in a whole new era. Like I said, last year was really my first year of me getting to be back to myself. So I was still learning the landscape and trying to get my reps in and everything. So I was just sticking with the one look that I had before. But I'm letting my mind just be free now and just put in whatever, just saying F it and just whatever I think of, just go out there and do it. So it starts with the gear, it starts with the hair, it starts with everything else. The look is everything. So we just trying different things. So hopefully like the next one, the one after that, because we gonna keep having something new.
Awesome. I'm really interested in seeing that. So now we're on the topic of like TNA wise. We know Nick Nemeth is now there, and
Yeah,
Mustafa Ali is making his rounds too. Are you maybe potentially maybe hoping that you're able to step into the ring with those two by chance?
I've stepped in the ring with Moose actually a couple times, and every time me and Moose get in the ring, it's fire. He comes from an athletic background in the NFL too, so he knows timing and everything. So we have great chemistry when we're in there. So yeah, stepping in the ring with Moose would definitely be a great look because he's the world champion, and I feel like I'm
Mhm.
world champion material as well. So it'd be cool to see, where I stand in there when I get in there with him. And then
Yeah.
when Nick Nimitz come in there, I've been watching him since I was, you know, in Spirit Squad type thing. That's middle school, elementary school.
Yeah.
So so I've always looked up to him, and it's the way that he sells, it's the way that he carries himself. So it's cool to see again. Just I watch and learn. I'm like a fly on the wall. I don't really say too much to people because I don't want to bother nobody. But I just watch
Right.
how he move. I see how he talks to people, see how he greets people, and just something cool to just see because he came from working in WWE for however long, 15,
Right.
20 years, and then now he's back in TNA, and I'm here with him. So I hope I can get in the ring with him, mix it up. Mustafa Ali just came back too, so it's so many different possibilities in 2024, and it's dope to be a part of this roster. It's so dope, top to bottom.
I'm excited to see. I know that they're coming to New Orleans later this month, and
In the
I'm definitely
Bayou,
gonna be there. Definitely going to be there. I haven't been to New Orleans, and well, the last time I went to New Orleans was for Monday Night Raw, but I wasn't. I didn't actually stay. But for that weekend, I'm actually going to be staying for No Surrender and the Bayou Blast and everything. So go
let's do
browse
that. Let's do
around
that.
in the New Orleans area. See what they got going on. Nikki's like, I need to go look at some museum because I'm a museum head. I love
Okay,
museums. Like those are like favorite place to go to. So like
okay.
I have to see what they got going on because New Orleans is a very interesting place to be in. I will
Yeah,
say
for
that.
sure. Bourbon Street, you get some beignets, some good gumbo. I need
I,
that.
and see, I just had some gumbo. My mom made some gumbo like 2 weeks ago and everything. So
Word.
I'm trying to stay
Your
away
your
for a
family from
moment.
New Orleans or
No, my family it's a my mom's side of the family is from the south. My dad's side of the family is from the North Midwest and all over the place.
got
So
you,
I
got
have
you.
a big variety of like cultural food in my family. So like but gumbo,
Need
I
that.
could eat that every day if I wanted to. Every I don't if gumbo was the only thing I could eat in this world every day, I would eat it. But I know it's bad during the summer because of the shrimp could spoil inside you, and I don't really want to get
Um,
involved with none of that. But if I could, but it would have to be cold like every year, every day, 365 days. They have to be cold for me to eat that.
I
Um,
gotta I gotta try your mom gumbo because everybody gumbo different. So
that is very true. I know people like to add like what like I know like those who are like in New Orleans or like those who are real deep in the South, like they add
mhm,
crab legs and like lobsters and crabs and
all type.
corn, all types of things. I don't want all of that because I'm not a big seafood head. So just give me the sausage, the shrimp, the okra. Put some rice in there if you want to. You don't like
Need
your
the
veggies.
rice.
That's it. But those who add like a little extra, great,
You're
congratulations.
doing too much. You're doing too much.
I'm not clowning you because that's your thing. So that's your culture, that's your environment that you grew up on. Well, for me personally, we do not do all that over here. We don't. We keep it
you heard
simple, straight to the
you heard it here
point,
first.
and that's it. All of that stuff, I just feel like I'm not gonna be cracking no crab legs trying to eat my gumbo. We're not doing that.
Nah,
I don't
nah.
even know what to do with all that stuff. That's just too much.
What do I do with
I
my
don't know.
hands? Like,
Like, and then it's all messy. I'm like, y'all got it. I'm not getting involved. But speaking of getting involved, you wrestled at Ashe Wrestling. Was it like last, like in December and everything. They had like
December 1st.
they had a very first show. And you were among those who were a part of it. So, what
Mm.
was the experience like being a part of their very first show amongst other Black wrestlers, content creators, commentators, and more? Because it felt like a big old cookout with
It
just a
did.
lot of people there. So talk about that experience there. And you actually did win your match there too. So that it vibe. Like that's all I got from it.
Nah, it was definitely a vibe. Luke popped it off from Dreamville with his performance and everything. So it just felt like a big ass cookout, like you said, just a
Yeah.
big family reunion. We was in the back playing spades, we was in there doing our thing.
I was like that.
No, I'm just playing,
Oh,
bro.
If y'all was, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to get on that table.
See, that's what I'm talking about because we losing recipes. It's hella people that don't know how to play spades, and that kind of be pissing me off. I'm not gonna lie,
What
but
some people just don't be around people that play space. Like, wow, what
come
happened to
on
your
now,
family?
what's going
You
on?
running
We need
10
to
piece
talk about
nuggets
it.
around here with barbecue sauce on the side. Like, what?
What are we doing?
I can't.
But but now Asha was dope. No, shout out to Darius Lockhart for putting that all together. I believe his next show is sometime this month on the 19th.
Yeah.
But be on the lookout for Asha because that's exactly what we need in wrestling. That's exactly what we want in wrestling. It's for us, it's by us, and it's a great way for a lot of black wrestlers to get a platform that they may not get in other places in a serious manner,
Mm,
in a prominent position. Not just being the one black person on the show or the stereotypical roles they've always tried to typecast us as or in this business. So it's a great environment in my opinion. Just and that's a lot of people that don't watch wrestling that go
mm,
there. So that's those are always my favorite crowds, the ones that don't watch
yeah.
wrestling because they don't know what to expect, to be honest. And you get the full uh you get a whole different perspective of how
Right.
you're presented when it's somebody that doesn't really is not in the wrestling bubble, because I feel like a lot of times wrestlers get stuck in this niche box that they think wrestling is or supposed to be when it could be so much bigger than that. So I say is definitely a promotion to watch.
Yeah, and I mean it's run by Darius Lockhart, who is he's everything. Honestly, a
He's
great
amazing.
and I've seen a lot of like his interviews to talk about the start of it and everything, and I think it's very important. So for you, like to have something to be a part of something like this, and for this to continue on, and who knows how long it's going to continue on, which I hope it does for a while, and it gets even bigger and bigger. But how important is it for us to curate shows that's by us and for the culture? To take away from that stereotypical thing of all black wrestlers are the same and this is how we are supposed to act, like we're all from the hood, and a lot of us are not even from the
Right.
hood.
Exactly. I think it's great. Just for one, exactly what you said,
Mm,
getting the wired perspective, because and a lot of other cultures, a lot of other countries have the same thing for their own people. New Japan
mm,
Pro Wrestling, for example, CMLL, AAA, um, Brit Wrestling, Aussie Wrestling. They all have their own uh, uh, environments to have different varieties of their own people on the same show. And I think that's so much important for us as a people to have that, um, especially in America where wrestling is the most popping. So
yeah.
the fact that we get to just be ourselves with people that are like they don't even got to be like us. Like it's for wrestling is for everybody, but it's just the fact that we have that platform to show that we're not just who you think we are, stereotypical type things. Where you got the anime people, you got the hood people, you got the sports people, you got the business people. So it's like it's just a different skin tone, tone of skin, I should say.
Mm.
But um, yeah, it's dope for us to be able to express ourselves freely. Not saying we can't do it freely other places, but it's dope just giving that platform to independent wrestlers.
Absolutely, I think that, like you said, that is great because growing up, being someone who is black, even though I have a Hispanic father, but also being someone who's black
Hmm.
and living in, the environment where you're watching wrestling and you grow up and not seeing that many that look like us.
Hmm.
Only the fact of that they like to stray on this stereotypical black wrestler, what it's supposed to be like.
Yep.
Growing
Yep.
up, I got to see like what Godfather, even though he was doing his little thing there.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
seeing
yeah.
like Mark Henry and Ron Simmons and like The
Ron
Rock and
Simmons.
and seeing the Nation of Domination, their thing there, but also with the women seeing like Jacqueline and Jazz,
Mm.
like those two were like the main ones that I did see. And then you come along with like Crystal, Alicia Fox, and then you get like your Naomi's, you get like
Man,
your
what?
Camerons, you get like your Mercedes, you get like your Now you have like your Bianca Belairs, your Jades, and Athena's, and like
Yes, sir.
Awesome Kong, and Aja Kong. You just it's like the progression of black women and male wrestlers have grown so much in this environment where we're able to have those 500 lists that Righteous Red creates every year,
Right.
and to know that there's so many on the indies. So like from your standpoint, growing up being a wrestling fan like myself and seeing the movement and the changes over the years, so where we're able to see those that look like us, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you feel like there's still some more to be, like some more improvement that needs to happen, or do you feel like everything is like
I mean,
over?
there's always room for improvement. There's
Right.
always room for improvement. And just like you said, the transformation just from even 20 years ago to now, even 10 years ago to now, has been crazy. Kofi Mania was one for the books. And
Absolutely.
from when Ron Simmons won it to Kofi, what is like 30 years or
Mm,
whatever. So that gap is huge. And then from Kofi winning it to I think Big E won it.
mm-hmm.
Um,
We got
and,
Bobby
and that's
Lashley, so
Bobby Lashley, of course.
many.
So it's like it's definitely improved over the years, and there's so much more improvement. Like just become the face of the company, because a lot of times you could be the champion, but you're
Mm,
not still the face of the company. You know what I mean? It's a big
right.
difference. So I feel like that time is coming, and even in different promotions now, it's not just WWE. You have AEW.
Mm,
Swerve is looking to take on that role, and many of the other wrestlers on in that promotion. Moose is a world champion in TNA. We still haven't had one in New Japan. Well, Bob Sapp was
yeah.
back in the day, and Mercedes won the IWGP Women's Champion. So it's like you said, there's always room for improvement. I don't know if CMLL or AAA's had that as well, but we can get it anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere. So it's dope to see uh, how much things have progressed over the years, and that we're not just in the comedic role. There's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that at all, but it's just cool to see that we're being taken serious. You know what I mean, in the wrestling world's eyes. So it's dope to see.
I agree. So you did bring up Moose and everything. I do have to ask because you've
Mhm.
got your opportunity to face Leo Rush after you kind of called him out and everything. You've been in the ring with, like I said, Moose. You've been in the ring with Kenny King. You've definitely been showing out with Chris Bay. I give you that much. Like, you two are like two peas in a pod, honestly, when it comes to watching you guys' matches. Out of those four, who would you say was the most challenging opponent?
The most, I would say, it's challenging in different ways.
Mhm.
The Kenny King match was definitely one of the more challenging ones because it was one of my first singles matches on TV.
Yeah.
Um, and just at that time, it was like I was still very much unsure of myself of what I wanted to do, how I wanted to present myself. So that was just challenging for me mentally, just to like put things together and just being on TV, getting the camera cuts and the time cues and everything. So it was a lot mentally for that. But like physically being in the ring is definitely Moose, because he hits hard. That's a big dude. He played in the NFL offensive lineman,
Mhm.
300 plus pounds. I was a DB. I didn't even make it to that level. So him just everything he does just has so much impact behind it. But he's very cool to work with, and just everything in the ring. Just it's you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for Moose, the chops, the
Yeah,
slams. I'm sure if you've seen the match, yeah, I was going through it. I was going
that
through it.
spear was
Yeah, the
nasty.
spears is no joke. So yeah, him being where he's from, and just his stature and everything is definitely hard to overcome physically. But it's a fight. We Once you get in between them ropes, anything can happen. So
That's true. So we move on from, like, your most challenging opponents. Who are some wrestlers that you may have not stepped into the ring with that you would like to step into the ring with?
we just talking just in TNA, just in New
Like, all
Japan,
over,
or
all over,
all over.
anywhere.
That's tough because there's so many. There's so many. I'm starting New Japan. Well, I can't even
Mhm.
say New Japan anymore. I always wanted to step in the ring with Okada before he
Mhm.
stepped. I know he's
Yeah.
gonna do great things, everything he's gonna do, but just just being able to learn from him, seeing how he moves backstage, it was just always cool to see how different he was. backstage and in the ring. So I just want to, being able to test my waters against one of the goats,
Right.
as we would say. Of course, Osprey, he's gonna do great things at AEW. He's on a whole nother level, on a whole nother level. So by the time we meet in the ring, it's gonna be Clash of the Titans. I feel like so. He's definitely always been one up there. And young guy, I like to see his stuff is Leon Slater. He's out of the UK.
Mhm.
He's super dope, super dope. So I feel like it will be it will be another one. Clash of the Titans will be stepping in the ring, a fight in the air, you know. So
Mhm.
with Leon, that'll be a great test. Just see if I can keep up with the young guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, you're talking like you're old or something. Like you're still in your 20s.
Still
Like
in the
I
20s
know as we get older, our bodies get a little more mature as well. But I mean, you're still a young guy too. Like
for sure,
you
for
know,
sure. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I try to take care of it with some massages, some cryotherapy, but
I've seen it. You begin your next now by that chiropractor and everything. Oh, Lord. I feel
you
like
be
it's
seeing
me
everything.
when
Yeah.
I like I said, I browse
Nah,
around
it
a
keep the
lot.
body right. It keep the body right for sure. Nah, you know your stuff. I
Uh,
I, I respect it. I respect it.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. So as we move on, because it's gonna be getting kind of close to our last question. What is it for you, Wise? What does it mean to be a black man in wrestling, and who are some black men in your life who have motivated you and inspired you to be the best version of yourself?
What answer the first question? What does it mean to be a black wrestler? Is like um I'm a representation of all the other black boys and girls back home that are watching. So I always try to make it a point, just to show them that you can do anything and however image that you wanted to do. Like I'm only here just because this is something I woke up. I said I wanted to do it. Like I was working in the IT job. I didn't want to do it, and I was like, yeah, I'm just start wrestling. I said that like 5 years ago, and now I'm here. Um, as long as you put in the work and you treat people well along the way, you can really do anything you want to do. And yeah, being a black man in wrestling, just want to show just a positive representation of us on television. Not all representation is good representation in my book.
Right.
So I feel like just putting that weight on my shoulders, and then even performing when I'm in Japan, there's not too many other black wrestlers there either. So it's like it's me, Leo, Chris Bay, Brian Keith just had a tour with DDT.
Mhm.
And a few other wrestlers I know. I don't know them off the top of my head, but just us being over there in such a foreign environment, they get to see us up close and personal, and it's like they be so amazed because they've probably never seen a black man or a black person in person, let alone in a wrestling ring. So um, just being able to be that to them is a cool experience too. Um, just looking on the other side of things, and then just some other black men that's inspired me to be the best version of myself. There's got to be people in my life, or like just in
It's
general,
just
for sure.
anybody. It can be in your life and be general,
Yeah,
be someone you may have came across so that you kind of, build some type of relationship with.
yeah. A big mentor for me lately has been Montezi, the guy that made my theme song. He's always outpouring positivity into me, always speaking highly and greatly. Because a lot of times I'll not say lose my confidence, but I'll just be like, yeah, it's whatever, it's cool. Da da da. He always hype me up. Will be like, man, you got it. Like so he's just always pouring out positivity back into me just to remind me who I am and what I do. And there's so many other people like that too. I have a lot of good talks with Darius Lockhart just about things outside of wrestling and what he does in wrestling and out of wrestling. Just inspiring to see how he balances the two. Um, no, a lot of my peers are you know, instill that confidence. Leo as well, because he's a father and he does wrestling and he's married and everything. So seeing him juggle everything is crazy. Because for me, it's just me, and I'll be having trouble doing that. So I can only imagine having other people depending on you too, while still being so talented. He has other avenues. He works in like he makes music and everything too. So it's just inspiring to see how much drive and motivation he has for his own goals. So I'm like, all right, I could do this too. So it's dope to see that. in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are all great because I feel like everyone has someone in their life that pours in that energy that sometimes you're looking for, especially if you're having your okay days, your low days, you're not feeling
Hmm.
like your best, you're not feeling like yourself. But always to be able to surround yourself around people who can bring that light over your darkest days and everything, I think that's absolutely amazing to have. And everyone needs that because not everyone has that. So I
Exactly.
commend those who actually do have people like that in their life. Never take them for granted. Always be appreciative
Mm.
because that's not something that they have to do, but they do it because they care and they love you. So I think that's
So
awesome.
true. So
So
true.
so now we are within the new year still. You know, we got past January, 300,000 days to get past January. January is
It was
such
a
a
good
long
year.
time,
January was a good year.
such a start of the month, a year for anything. So like I said, we're past January, within a new year. What is something that you're looking forward to for 2024?
Just opportunity, space and opportunity.
It's like a
Last year was
fight.
my
It's like you ready to fight somebody. Like what? It's like somebody said, like, it's based on opportunity. It's like
space and
you trying to
opportunity. You know what I mean? Everything is war anyway, so that's how you got to
yeah.
look at things. But so I'm just looking for the space and opportunity. I'm putting in my daily deposits just to be ready for it. I don't know what the opportunity is going to be or when it's going to be, but I know I'm going to be ready for it whenever it comes. So last year was my first year, like getting my bearings right, getting stabilized and everything. But this year, I feel like is um, it's time for me to take it to another level, trying to step it up. Um, so I'm just ready to step it up whenever my name is called. I'm just ready to step up to the plate and knock it out the park. So space and
Okay.
opportunity, just ready for
All right.
it.
Kevin's not looking to fight anybody. Well, it's a war,
you
but
know,
anybody who
listen,
ready to step, get your
be ready
bags ready.
for it.
It's gonna be a
Be ready
flight.
for
Okay.
it. A short one, a short flight.
All right. So before we get out of here, let everyone know where they can keep up with you at.
For sure. Y'all can keep up with me on. I'm on Twitter, Instagram. I don't really use Facebook like that, but it still post to it. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Jet2Fly. I'm not on TikTok. I refuse to do the TikTok. That's too much for me. That's too much. That's too much. We're already on our phones enough. I don't need another app taking away from my attention. But yeah, Jet2Fly on the IG and the Twitter. I think I'm still Jet Knight on Facebook. So yeah, just reach out to me, follow me, keep up, because it's gonna be a journey.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, I thank you so much for coming in to our Black History Month spotlight. Step into the Shakers Den. Of course, it's invite only, and thank you for accepting the invitation because people are still knocking at the door trying to get in, and we got to check that list because if you're not on the list, you can't get in. Period. At all whatsoever. And we thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming in here with us. You guys can continue to follow us on all social media platforms at the Shakers Den all over. We got a lot of things cooking up for this year for 2024. Shout out to Battleground Podcast for always allowing us to do our thing here as well. You guys have a great rest of your day. And this has been the Shakers Den, once again, where it's invite only.
You are tuned into the Shakers Den. Shaking.